They shouldn't have been worried about a thing either because Jesus was with them while all of this was going on. So why would my boat capsize? Why would anything happen to me if Jesus is with me? That's a whole other message. But when he woke up, I imagine Jesus was a little frustrated, like, first of all, I was in a good sleep and now you done woke me up. And he's like, why are you guys afraid? And the first thing he says is, oh, you of little faith. Welcome to Storytime with Sirece.
Preview.
And now, let's all welcome your host, Sirece Thomas. Hey guys, hello. Welcome. Come on in. I am super excited to be back with you guys. Take a seat, get comfortable. You're washing dishes, you're taking a little jog, you're exercising, whatever it is. I am super excited to be back before you again. It's Saturday with another story time with Sirece, all right? And I come to you with another word from God, and piggybacking off of what we were talking about last week when God says go, and you're like, are you sure you want me to go right now? Because I'm not ready, or the circumstance isn't really, convenient. And he's like, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm asking you to do what I'm asking you to do, because I want you to know that it is me who's doing it. You can't rely on your own strength. You can't say it's a circumstance. This is why I'm asking you to do it. I just need your faith. And this week, I want to talk about your faith. Some of us are like, why isn't this thing happening for me? What's going on? Like, where is it? Every time I try to work this thing out, it's just not working. It's not happening. Or I'm getting afraid because I don't know what that next step is. And it just feels like I'm running out of time. And he's like, well, the thing that you're missing is a very key ingredient, and that's faith. And it's so funny because many of us walk around as believers, just, believing that we have faith, but don't really walk in faith. We believe we have faith, but we're not walking in those steps. And I love, again, the visual of Peter on the boat, and God is asking him, come, walk on water to me. And he's looking around. He's like, are you sure you're asking me to come to you in this circumstance? There's a storm. This is water. Water is not even supposed to hold me up. He doesn't even have time to make sense of it. A lot of times when God asks you to go, you're not even going to be able to make sense of it. It's just going to feel off, or the wrong timing, or not the right circumstance, or not the right people. But more so, it's an insecurity that we feel. I'm not ready. I can't do this. And he's like, I know. It's me that's going to be working through you. So when we talk about faith, when we start looking for plan B and we plan C and we start doing all these other things, we don't realize that we're actually not walking in faith. Faith is evidence of those things that we cannot see. Evidence is proof of something. So when you actually walk in faith, you are proving that the thing that you are claiming is already done. And it's like, we really can't wrap our heads around that, because really we're asking ourselves to do something that we can't do on our own strength. We can't mentally understand how it makes sense. But God is saying, I want you to take that next step. I think about the boat again, when there was a storm, and it was a crazy storm, and they felt like they were about to capsize, and Jesus was in the boat sleeping. Okay, he wasn't worried about a thing. And technically, they shouldn't have been worried about a thing either, because Jesus was with them while all of this was going on. So why would my boat capsize? Why would anything happen to me if Jesus is with me? That's a whole other message. But when he woke up, I imagine Jesus was a little frustrated, like, first of all, I was in a good sleep and now you done woke me up. And he's like, why are you guys afraid? And the first thing he says is, oh, you of little faith. And that is what I want to get across today. Many of us, we might have faith. We may think we have faith, or we just don't have enough. Even when he sent the disciples out to do his work, they came back and they said, it's not working. How many times do we go back to God and say, this just ain't working? I don't know what's going on. And he's like, your faith, you need to pray that you increase your faith. And I want that to be a specific prayer for you, especially in this next week. For those of you that God is calling you into a new thing, or he's calling you into some unfamiliar territory. the first thing you should be asking God to do is increase your faith, because the worst thing we could do is begin to take the next step and see, oh my gosh, that just failed. That didn't work. And we think that, oh, okay, maybe God didn't say that. No, actually, your faith was not at the level that you needed to be, because when your faith is at a certain level, you actually open your ears and your eyes to see things and hear things from the Holy Spirit to move in a certain way, because you are believing that whatever he says, you are going to be able to move on that. God gives specific instructions, but many times we don't hear those things because our faith is not at a level to hear it. Do you hear me? You know what I'm saying? So when we increase our faith, we are able to hear those specific instructions clearly so that we can move in a way where God can meet us on the other side. So he's like, it ain't me. I'm working. You talk about it ain't working. I am the miracle worker. But on the other side of that, there's one key ingredient that you feel like you're not seeing, and that is your faith. And one of the things God said to me so clearly the other day, he's like, you can keep praying and you can keep believing and you can keep crying and you can keep complaining. He said, but the truth of the matter is, you want to know what I really respond to? I respond to a certain level of faith. So when Peter stepped out of that boat and he's beginning to walk on water, he begins to sink. When does he begin to sink? The moment he took his eyes off of Jesus. And he literally got distracted. And that's what happens with us. Sometimes we begin taking that next step and other distractions, because of course the enemy's going to try to get in front and he's going to try to deter you any way he can from getting to that next goal, right? And so when you take your eyes off of Jesus, your faith begins to go like this. And as he began to sink, Jesus is like, take my hand. I got you. As soon as he connected with him, they were back walking on water together. And that is what I want you to know. The thing that you need is to begin praying, Lord, increase my faith, because that is what God wants to respond to. And in life, he gives us things to do to kind of be able to activate that faith. He asks you to do things. He asks you to get your life in a certain way. He asks you to forgive that person, speak to that person, get rid of that person, whatever it is. It requires a level of faith that is going to get you to the next level. As you're looking to what God is doing in your life, remember, increase your faith. That is what he responds to. He loves worship. He loves our praise. But in the midst of that, in order to truly praise and worship God, we need a level of faith that he will be able to say, wait a minute, who's that? Because that person's faith got my attention. Just like the lady with the issue of blood. There were hundreds of people around him, praising him, worshiping him, screaming his name. And she touched the edge of his garment with a level of faith that no one else had. And even God felt his power go out of him. How amazing is that? He is so powerful that power itself goes out of him and responds automatically. It's like an automatic response. Faith will get an automatic response of power for God to move on your behalf in your situation. So whoever needs to hear that, and you keep going back and saying, God, it's not working. What's happening? He's like, because you haven't done this thing that requires a level of faith. That is the next step. Some of us are looking too far ahead and we have not gotten to a place to level up our faith. We have not gotten to the place. We're still screaming and shouting about the storm around us that's about to capsize the boat. And we're not asking, Lord, increase my faith. This is scary. I know it. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't like how it feels, but increase my faith because I know you are with me. And I know that if I take my faith to a certain level, it will activate an automatic response of power in my situation. And that is where I will meet the miracle. So I want to encourage you. When God says go, remember, make sure you are checking your tools. You can't just get out there. This is a battlefield. And one of the biggest things you need to be checking is that shield of faith. Without it, you will be deterred. You will get hit. You will get knocked down and you will get discouraged. So remember, hold tight to that faith and let's start seeing his power automatically activate in your life in response to your level of faith. Faith is evidence. Evidence is proof that what God said he would do, he will do it, but it's according to your level of faith. So I hope you were encouraged by that word. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Continue to check us out. We'll be back again every Saturday with another story time with Sirece. See you guys.